So this is the last of the collection, but certainly not the least. This is what I saved for last, actually. The bottom of the collection is from an older collection I bought. I just put it there for moral support. Huh, Bellaboo? These were the ones that I had a hell of a time sleeping after seeing the collection as a whole. That first night, I had to go back. There was no way around it because it was like literally some of these right here were what were haunting my dreams. It was driving me crazy. It really was. Like, that's what happens when you're the thrill of the chase, you know, when you're putting a collection of something together. Okay. These I had pulled some of these out. We'll see. I think they're in here. And put them on a different bookcase the day before because I had decided to buy some other stuff. But when I went back, they were still there. This one being one of them, the F-15 Eagle, McDonnell Douglas, James Perry Stevens, Arrow number 28. I mean, come on. That's an awesome cover. And all night I thought about it. This one, and I think I see the other one coming up right underneath the Hornet here. I'm trying to keep these in order. So the F-A-18 Hornet, Jane's book. I'm finding out that they make some really high quality stuff, Jane's. I had some other books of theirs put together really well. Full color, has all the same, you know, stats and breakdowns of everything. Huh, Bella? That's very interesting, huh? Yes, I think it's very interesting, Big Daddy. No? Did you say no? I love you. This is the one, Red Armor in Combat. Like, all night I was like, man, that Russian tank book was so cool. Like, just the way that it was put together, man. It's a nice book. And the full color illustrations backed with the black and white and all the different, I mean, you know what I mean? You got to know what I mean. You book lovers know what I mean. So then I got some of these. There's the Stuka. The Stuka? Really cool. Douglas Devastator. Grumman, Bearcat. Kawasaki. KI-61. The Tony. Hagadet Publisher. Kashimoto. Okay, so this is probably going to be a really cool Japanese one. It is. I love the three-dimensional almost style of artwork that they did. It's a very interesting book right here, in my opinion. This was another one of the ones I thought of because of the aerial stuff, the drawings. That night, I was like, I got to go back and get those books, man. That one Japanese one, and this was the cover that I thought of. And I was like, you know, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get that book. It will be mine. Oh, yes. It will be mine. It is. Here's Project Air, The Phantom 2 by John Dewar. Okay. Another interesting piece. Here's an Arrow file. January, February, 77. Volume 1, number 1. Arrow file. In better than average shape, for sure. There's the Mitchell units of the MTO. The Osprey combat aircraft. I got several of the Ospreys as well. They're another high quality, really nice, high-end book. Here's the P-51 Mustang, famous aircraft series. Arco Publishing, New York, New York. And there's that 12th printing. Cover drawings of a P-51D, the 361st Fighter Group. There's the cockpit. PT boats in World War II by Victor Chun, Pictorial History. Okay, so here's another one that's laid out nicely. It has a large middle section that's offset. Generally, it's a fold out of some kind, which it is. I want to do it without destroying the book, but still let you see it. Very cool. Okay. So let me very gently do this again for a moment. And here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Very, very cool. There's another fold out of some kind. I'm not going to mess with that one. Okay, maybe we will. It just like unfolded like it wanted to come out all on its own. There it is. Okay. And then you have the interiors. And some different patches and logos and whatnots and who daddies and what that's, and there you go. And then we have the P4U Corsair in color, the Fighting Colors series by Jim Sullivan, Squadron Signal Publications. It's a little more of their high end. Again, very nice stuff, very nice stuff. USAF Europe in color. P-51 Mustang in color. Voodoo by Lou Drendel and Paul Stevens. Modern military aircraft. Squadron Signal Publications again. And more of their high-end, higher-end stuff. Which is the FW-190A8 Aircraft Handbook. I'm not even going to open that up and let you see it. Nor will I let you see my F-86 Sabre. 15th Air Force story. Very nice. Hear that? I mean, that's a really nice, really nice, nicely put together book for the era. And the condition is just, again, above average, very much above average. Save for some of that right there. It has been opened. Here's the P-47 Thunderbolt. This is something different. This is the Flying Wings of Northrop. Back in the day, he paid it was $450 was paid for this particular item in some kind of a surplus sale somewhere, I would imagine, because I have some more stuff that is similar. Very gnarly. Here's the Fighting Colors Century Series in color. Lou Drendel. And this again is a high-end Squadron Signals. The B-17 Flying Fortress. F4F Wildcat. In detail and scale. Okay. I guess you could build some of these, legitimately, if you have the know-how. There's bombers of World War II. Again, Squadron Signal Publications. We're going a little higher end this time. And they are. The full color shots that are in these, they're just beautiful. As well, all the schematic markups. And here's the P-26. 3-view drawings. Operational history, squadron assignments, specifications, and colors. History of the famous Boeing P-26. It's a pea shooter. This book is a little bit more than square. It fits strangely into the stack. And we have the ME-262. And this one is also in very, very much so above average condition. Air Force Colors, Volume 1, 1926 to 1942. Squadron Signal Publications. It's their high end again. I call it their higher end because they're thicker, they're bigger, they're beefier. Here's the Leatherneck Bombers. A Schiffer military history book by Howland C. Carey. This is a book. Okay. Nice book. And the last but not least, the 12th Air Force story. Followed by the Hudson River and its painters. So let me set this down for just a moment. And I'm going to very quickly, very efficiently get these restacked and in the order that I had them. So I can pull out my chair and move on to the Hudson River and its painters. This is another unclipped. It's a lovely book. I got this one some years ago at an auction put on by the wonderful people at Kiko. I love the Kiko auctions. They're my favorite locally whenever we're not doing all this COVID crap and we can actually get out among each other. It's a lovely first edition. So, well, I opened up right to these beautiful maps. And my wife and I, for our 10-year anniversary, because we got together in 2009, we didn't officially get married until later on October the 3rd of 2015. But our original anniversary is 2 years before Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, 2 days before Thanksgiving. And that's when she first came up here, and she swung down out of the U-Haul into these loving arms, and we've been together ever since. So for our tenure, she knows that I love, writing and writers. So for our trip, we did something a little different this time around. We went to New York, which we've always stayed away from New York. We don't want to see all the congestion and everything, neither one of us. We both love Maine. Maine is our favorite. We like Bar Harbor. Like to go up there and get a lobster. And I am a huge fan of Portland. We get lobster down at Cape Elizabeth and sit out on the pier and have a beer, maybe. But we went to the home of the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and Rip Van Winkle. And the house was called, okay, I'm going to have to think about this for a moment. Maybe in the next episode, I will talk about that house, because I don't want to give the wrong name. And it was absolutely beautiful. The whole estate was, when you walked all around it, and down by the Hudson River where it was facing. It was really quite something. So this book is a very good representation of a higher end art book, which is what I like. I do like these quite a bit. You'll see quite a few of these as we run through the fullness of my collection. And I will open a lot of some of the stranger ones so you can have a peek at something that you may never, ever, ever see otherwise. Because, you know, there's a lot of information out there, and you'll never know everything. That's the first rule. You'll never know everything. But it's certainly fun to try. I keep thinking of Rip Van Winkle because I can't remember the author's name right now offhand. I'm having a senior moment. I'm picturing a W. Rip Van Winkle, W. What was his name? It's throwing me off so bad right now. Sleepy Hollow. We did the whole thing. We went to the fire festival, or whatever they call it, with all the pumpkin lightings up there. That's my wife's thing. She's into all of that. So, of course, happy wife, happy life. I told her to just, plan it all out. And she did. And she did a great job. And we had a lot of fun. We stayed in a castle that felt very haunted. They brought it over here brick by brick. And I got some great photos of that, too. And you could see a bridge about 20 miles away across the water. And it was part of New York City, where we were on the Hudson. And it was beautiful. That whole area, it does feel very, very haunted. And I could see the Ichabod Crane character. I mean, it's a very beautiful place. But some of the views betray its remoteness. Yeah, they hide this beautiful stuff in books. Washington Irving, that's his name. It just came to me. So it was, I don't believe it was a summer home, but Washington Irving wrote the Sleepy Hollow story about Ichabod Crane from this house. It was like some Sunset House or Sunnyside. It's escaping me right now, but Washington Irving's entire estate in New York was beautiful. And at first we went down, and I remember the traffic was insane. Her and me were bickering, trying to figure out how to park at this joint. And then we finally got in, and it was like, okay, that was easy. And parked the car, and we got out, and it just took your breath away, the view of the Hudson. And we just stood there together, and I put my arm around my wife, and we took in the view for about 10 full minutes and just chit-chatted about, how beautiful it was. And I got a couple nice photographs. She got a couple nice photographs. And then we walked down into the house proper. and that was really nice. And on the way down, there was a little bridge and it just really made the story of the Headless Horseman come to life. And there is they had pumpkins everywhere, and they had those things you could put your face in and take photos. We did that, and it was silly and fun. And you get down to the house, and then if you pay to take the tour, which is what we always try to do, the people are dressed in the period, and they come and they, talk about the place, and you learn a little bit about it. And I loved Washington Irving's library. They did make an attempt to, right there. I'll tell you, that really makes me feel like I'm at Washington Irving's house, to be honest. There in the back of the house, there's almost a circular, weird octagon-looking building with a pointed top, which I got some really neat photos of, but it gave you a very strange feeling being in that area. There was something very mystical about it, and that's why he set the house up the way that he did. The entire property is like that. You're supposed to have moments of otherworldliness while you're there, and you're supposed to take this otherworldliness back with you, this sense of wonder, and it would positively change your life, hopefully, is what his intent was. And I gotta say, I did get a burst of creativity right after that. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't, going through that scenic and historic parts of New York, and then coming back to Flat, Ohio. It was very inspiring, to say the least. So I highly recommend looking up Washington Irving's digs if you're ever in the New York area. We did Salem a couple years ago, but I gotta say, Maine, my heart's in Maine. We left our hearts in Maine, baby. We gotta go back to Bar Harbor. We gotta go back. I want to get another bowl of chowder and breathe that beautiful fresh air. And I've told my wife, if we ever decide to move elsewhere, once the boys are all grown up and out of college completely, coming up here in another year or two, maybe Maine might be on there. We might find a place in Maine. It is that beautiful. All right, I think this is a perfect spot to end this one. I hope you enjoyed this last round of the books and this beautiful view of the Hudson River Valleys, plural. Smash that like button, hit that bell, show me some love. Let me know someone out there's watching these, and I'll keep doing them. I'm hoping to maybe throw one up out with the paperbacks after a bit. I got some mafiosa stuff up there. La Cosa Nostra. So tune in later. Ciao.